Big Z Reviews. Longlegs is a new horror thriller that just came out recently, and I think that is probably one of my favorite movies of the year. It is like there's no jump scares. It's not like a traditional scary movie, but it just fills you with so much dread throughout the entire movie. It's just, but still amazing to watch. I still absolutely loved it, and I'm looking forward to seeing how my feelings of the film will change once I rewatch it multiple times. I think there's a lot in this movie.
Is it scary being a lady FBI agent?
Yeah.
Take a nice long look. A letter was left with the bodies. Signed with one word.
So Longlegs was written and directed by Oz Perkins. He's had like a couple of different horror films, and he's like the son of a famous person. He acted a couple of different movies, like a couple classic movies when he was younger. And I've liked his movies, but I haven't loved any of them. I think it's like a Black Coat's Daughter, and he did like a remake of like the Hansel and Gretel movie story and some other stuff. But like this is my favorite thing I've seen from him, and it really like shows him like a new auteur like a horror film director. And for this film, like I will have to spoil slightly some of the stuff just because to talk about it, you have to spoil it, especially because I love there was very limited trailers for this film. There's an absolutely amazing marketing team for this. And I love that I didn't really know much about this film other than it was like an FBI investigation of a supernatural serial killer before going into it. And I think if you haven't seen the film, you should just go watch it and then maybe come back and watch my review, because I don't know if there's ever been anything quite like it. Because, I mean, it's like, you can see inspired by like Seven movies like that, like the FBI thriller. But that is like the smallest aspect of this, because it is definitely like a supernatural horror film. Because, I mean, Maika Monroe, she plays Agent Lee Harker, and she's like a new FBI agent. And she's teamed up with someone, and her first introduction to being an FBI agent is a little crazy, but like then you see like she goes to like the FBI is like studying her and having her do like a psychic testing, and they found that like she is either highly intuitive or like half psychic, because that's like she's not like a true psychic, but she has intuitions where she knows things. Like she said, like someone tapping on her shoulder, like that's where the house the serial killer is in, and that because she has this weird ability, her boss Blair Underwood, playing Agent Carter, like he assigns her this case that has been going on for maybe decades, where this these families, the husband and father murders their entire family, but then there's a note left in the house, like in cryptic like writing, that's signed Longlegs, and that there's nothing really like the families that are killed. There's nothing there. They don't know each other. There's no evidence of anyone else being in the house. The only thing connecting them is this letter, and the fact that they have a daughter that was born on the 14th of a month. That's the only thing connecting all of them. And the filming of this movie is just so incredible. Like it's very different and original. Like the use of red, and like use of different aspect ratios, and with like flashbacks, and like with split second images shown on the screen. And I think that though, like when I go back and rewatch it, like I think that there's stuff that I missed like in the theater, but I noticed like a couple times there's like like a shadow in the background, and this like there's stuff like that throughout the film. I feel like, and I also feel like, there's just what you watch, on the film is just a straight up, psychotic killer, serial killer with supernatural powers, horror mystery. But the actual, like, I think you could dissect this film because it's definitely, has things to say about, childhood sexual abuse, and that, like, survivors and a lot of different things about that, I feel, especially, like, with this is so many like interesting things I think you could look into in this film. I think I have to watch it again though. Like I've read some people discussing different things about it, and I love too that like Oz Perkins, he's done some interviews and talking about stuff, and it's just really interesting. He's a really weird guy, but he's really interesting, and and going into more spoilers, because I had talked about Nicolas Cage, because he plays Longlegs, and he is so weird. It's such a crazy way to introduce the film too. And you have later on you get a lot more with him. And I don't know what to think of this character, but I loved like Oz Perkins how they described him. He said that like he is it's like a guy that he wanted to make himself pretty for the devil. So over the years, he's gone to strip mall plastic surgeons and gotten multiple surgeries, and that's made him look like he would fit in on Botched, But like he's like a metalhead. It's because he has like the satanic panic of like the 80s, 90s, and like but he is, and I just kind of feel like his motives, like you don't really get too much of what you get. It feels like a real Satanist would be like what Nicolas Cage is in this film. Like if there was a real Satan that existed and had magic powers, and he had followers, I feel like it wouldn't be a normal evil you think about. It's something like different and weird and psychotic about it, because like he. Like in the real world, the only Satanists we really have are people that are pedantic about the freedom of speech and freedom of religion, But like this is something so interesting and weird. I love his performance. It's so crazy. I know like there's a bunch of memes about it now. Like, I know clips from people have ripped from illegally recorded videos of the movie. The design of this film, so much of it was so expertly crafted, and like the little dolls that he makes of the girls, and how they have like the metal ball inside their head that's like their brain, and they're doing some weird like magic with these dolls to make the father murder their family. It's like so interesting and weird, and like it's also oddly funny, and like it's really like dark humor and like dry humor. But even just like with the coroner, when he's like doing an autopsy of the doll that they found, and he's like he plays like he puts thing up to the metal ball that was the brain, and like you see Maika Monroe has like flashbacks to like something weird about her past, and oddly her birthday is on the 14th, and her mother is acting very weird. Her mother played by Alicia Witt, like she's amazing, but like. The coroner is like, when I thought I could hear my ex-wife talking when I touched him. Like, and he's so like, he's also fascinated about about the doll, and like even like Nicolas Cage is kind of funny, but like horrifying. But like there's this one scene when he's just like going about his life in between being a serial killer, devil worshiper, like he is getting something at like a hardware store, and there's like a teenage girl manning the cash register, and he's doing his whole weird stuff, and the girl just goes out, "Dad, that creepy guy's here again," and it's almost laughable because like if you didn't know how evil this guy is, like he's just like a weirdo, but he's also way more than that. And Maika Monroe, I love her performance because like she is like has to play that. Like she's a really smart FBI agent, but also she has a haunted past that she's mostly forgotten. And as she examines this case and dives into it, like she keeps getting glimpses of her forgotten childhood, and that and what's going on behind the scenes, and what you get is just so horrifying and excellently well done, and really interesting. It's definitely such a unique horror film that I would highly recommend. Like I said, there are no jump scares. There's just like a sense of dread that stays with you. Like when I went to bed, I was like thinking it, like, no, I have to think about something else or won't be able to get to sleep. Something that like it captures you, and just like the whole, especially something about the filmmaking too. Like so much of it, the acting and the story, everything about it is just so impressive. And I would, like I said, I highly recommend it. I'd probably give it like a 9.5 out of 10. But thanks for watching. If you want to see more of me, you can subscribe down below. Thanks.